We run a news company around here, so being accurate with breaking news, predicting what's going to happen in the future, using the events of the past, pattern recognition, these kind of things are really important to us, and we don't get it right 100% of the time, that's for sure. But we know someone who does right here. And it's been a heck of a run for the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible has been on a tear of scientifically backed wins as of late, and the scoreboard just keeps running up. Ladies and gentlemen, Noah's Ark mystery deepens as new scans show the boat-shaped formation is more than just rock and includes pathways that perfectly align with the description of the boat in the Bible, along with, of course, the same length, the same width, and material that shows that it was biological animals inside, along with wood. Turkish government has granted official approval for groundbreaking scientific expedition to the Noah's Ark site. Well, there you go. By the way, the site is in Turkey, at the base of Mount Ararat, where it says that the Ark landed. CIA files claim the Ark of the Covenant has been found. A different Ark, but whatever. Don't you worry, the CIA knows that it's in Ethiopia. Yikes. Is that true? Not sure. The Shroud of Turin discovery places burial cloth at the time of Jesus' death. Shroud of Turin is probably the single most stunning artifact in world history. And it is hard to think of something more profoundly exquisite than the Christ's burial cloth that has the image, the photonegative image of Christ that includes blood stains in the actual cloth. The cloth is from the time of Christ. It has pollen from that era and time of Jerusalem, made out of material from that era and time in Jerusalem. And of course, would be impossible to replicate unless you had some source of nuclear light energy to create a photonegative human being on a cloth. Impossible to make. Certainly in the time that they say it was either discovered or fabricated, right? The haters. And now, of course, the Shroud of Turin, one of the most studied and debated relics in human history. Biblical scholars highlighted previous analysis found the shroud places in the same season, same exact time that Jesus died on the cross, and from the same era. It would be impossible to actually make this up. How would you do it exactly in the Middle Ages? How are you going to have like the amount of light particles shooting through the cloth in order to create an image of a man in the Middle Ages? Anyway, extinct human remains found on the seafloor fuel claims of real-life biblical giants. I love this one. They were able to find giant bones on the seafloor. The Nephilim, giant bones, like exactly as they talk about in the Bible. Great. Got it. Bible-denying academics seethe and are in shambles and have no answer to the fact that they are discovering 8-foot tall, 10-foot tall Nephilim giants, which is the exact description of Goliath, right? Or Og. Cool name of a giant. Giants have cool names, dude. People are saying, man, it's real. Could it all be real? What if it was all real? Ladies and gentlemen, maybe the most stunning discovery yet. Here we go. Stunning 2,000-year-old secret beneath Jesus' tomb that perfectly aligns with the biblical account. Let's go. Bible describes Jesus' burial place tomb carved into rock set in a garden where he was crucified. For nearly 1,700 years, Christians have believed the tomb lies in Jerusalem's Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Perhaps you've been there. Have you traveled there? And the first church was built over the site, Holy Roman Emperor Constantine in the 4th century. Generations of pilgrims have since traveled there and prayed where Christ is believed to have been crucified, buried, and resurrected. Now, the excavations beneath the church, complete with archaeologists, have pieced together a fuller picture of the ancient landscape, striking resemblance to that described in the Gospel of John. A lead archaeologist, Francesca Romana, told the Daily Mail, "We found evidence of a funerary landscape, like a funeral landscape, alongside a small area planted with vines and olive trees, as well as a pastoral landscape characterized by sporadic human activity. The excavations show the church stands over abandoned quarry outside of ancient Jerusalem, where cultivated plots and multiple rock-cut tombs existed side by side. The combination closely mirrors John's description of a garden containing a tomb near the place where Jesus was crucified. Although no physical evidence identifies the tomb's occupant, the parallels keep alive the possibility that early Christians preserved the true location of Jesus Christ's burial. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre was dedicated in the year 300 AD. I mean, that seems like a long time, right? After, as you can see here, Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Seems like a long time, right? 300 years after Christ's life. But it's actually not. Not in antiquity. 300 years, I mean, you can still have people that heard firsthand accounts of Christ. 300 years, you can still have people that heard firsthand. So, like, the birth of Christ marks year 0 times 0, right, in our modern calendar. And so you could still have, the great grandkids of people that heard firsthand accounts of Christ. That is totally possible. And so why wouldn't this be perhaps the most accurate location for Jesus' tomb? New find at Jesus' burial site backs biblical account of resurrection. Nice. Dating back 2,000 years. And it's a kind of perfect description of the book of John. For the restoration work of the Basilica, the Holy Sepulchre, Jerusalem, we're grateful for the communities, the Orthodox, that are looking today to open up into the excavations you can see here. Very cool. The Bible is true, all of it. Archaeologists discovered the tomb of Jesus buried beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. They found a 2,000-year-old garden, grapevines, olive trees, rock-cut tomb matching exactly as it is described in the Bible. It's strange that it took them so long to find the tomb of Jesus. It's literally a big church built on top of it, which claimed to be built on the site of Jesus' tomb. Either way, a magnificent discovery. We hope we'll learn more about these biblical events. For those who know, Jesus died, he's buried in a tomb, he rises again. Christians start venerating the actual tomb. Romans got upset. We got to do something about this. So they built a temple of Venus, a false god, on the site. 300 years later, it gets destroyed by Constantine, based Christian emperor. Obviously, they start asking, where did Jesus rise again? Jerusalem Christians had it very easy. It's underneath the temple of Venus. Woo. And this, kids, is how you shoot yourself in the foot. They meant for people to forget where Jesus was resurrected. But instead, they put a temple right over the site. That's a very cool story. A false god temple right over the site so that people know. And they know. And you should know too. That Jesus Christ is life. And that there's nothing more liberating than a relationship with the person who created you. And the person who wants the best for you in life. And if you don't know Jesus Christ, and if you're unconvinced by all the scientific evidence, then be convinced by Western civilization, by antiquity, by beauty, by art, by the Renaissance, by the illumination and uplifting of those who practice Christianity. And let that be your guide. The fruits, the acts. And the truth is the light. I know you're going to see the light. Let me know in the comment section. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.